Next, our AEW review. Conan, did you watch AEW?
Yes.
Oh, I got to send you something, Joe. I got to play this clip for Conan. So I don't know if you saw this. You know what I'm going to give you, right? Do you know what clip I'm going to send you, Joe?
From AEW? No.
Absolutely. You got to get. We have to play this. Okay.
Okay.
I got to show Conan this. If he did not see it, this is something that must be played.
The clap kicks.
Yes.
Okay. I know.
Okay. Hang on. Where is it? I can't find it here. Oh, some of my replies. What is going? How come? Where is this clip at?
I'll find it. It's AR Fox, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's on my. I retweeted it. I can't understand why this is not. Oh, here, I got it right here. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm sending it to you, Joe.
I got it right here. Anyways,
oh, you do? All right, get it ready when we go over this match. All right. All right. So Conan, so we start off AEW with
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy
usually starts every show off with like a good luck charm. Yeah.
This was not good. I like Orange Cassidy. This Kyle Fletcher guy is like your typical like New Japan style worker these days, and everybody thinks probably. Well,
he's from New Japan. What do you expect?
Same, but bro, it's like these guys don't know how to. Their selling is atrocious. I mean, there's spots where like you'll take a strike and you'll literally. Your hands won't move. Your arms won't move. Like somebody will kick you, and you literally just do nothing to sell it, right. And like just stagger and just like, bro, it's like like I said, people should watch the way Dominic sells. He's put investing a lot into selling, make it look like it hurt. These guys don't make it look like anything.
That's what makes the match,
right?
If you don't sell well, that's what makes a match when you sell.
Right, and it's like the psychology of matches when you don't sell. It's like the psychology is like there is no psychology because the fans are looking. It's like nothing hurts these guys.
Yeah, how do you get sympathy if you're not suffering?
They take these devastating moves and they kick out, and they're not really selling anything. They're just taking big giant moves and one.
This guy hit him with a move.
Yeah,
this guy hit him with a move during the match, and I don't even know what the names because there's a million names out there that look so devastating.
Right.
That should have been a finish.
I know the guy.
It was like a Michinoku driver. That's what it was called. Avalanche Michinoku or something like that.
An avalanche.
And I was like,
and off the top rope, and the guy kicks out. It's like
that's the finishing move, right?
Right. Yeah. There's no reason.
Let me tell you the only thing. I love Orange Cassidy. I like his gimmick. I like him as a person. I like him as a wrestler. He's a workhorse, and we saw that early on when he faced Pac. Whatever happened to Pac? Now that I'm thinking about it, but anyways,
probably see him in a minute, right?
I'm assuming he's hurt.
He'll be on Collision.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: that this guy who's half of a tag team went out there and almost beat you, and his matches have become kind of formulaic. What happens is the guy, he sells and sells and sells and sells, and then he comes back and he beats him almost. It wasn't a squash like Rush and Jack Perry, right? But almost the same thing. You're just kind of you're getting beat up and you kind of win at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So next is actually listen Pal's POV. Interesting. I had not read this yet, but he has almost the same thing that I think he almost echoes exactly what we say here. Pal's POV. I wasn't a fan of this match. They performed some impressive moves, but it felt like it was too much just in terms of kicking out some major moves, particularly in the opening match. I also wasn't a fan of Cassidy doing the light slaps. I'm not a hater of his light kicks and slaps as comedy spots as long as his opponents don't sell them, but they felt out of place here given the story that Cassidy's breaking down and exhausted from the schedule he's get and the abuse that he's taking during a series of title defenses. That's a fair take, So Ricky Starks was interviewed by Brene Paquette, and he said it's no secret he's a hothead. He said he acted out of emotion last week. He said no one was going to do anything about him being double-teamed, that he'll take matters into his own hands. Starks spoke about entering the Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship and said he could do 20 men what he did to 2. Then out of nowhere, guess what happens? Juice Robinson attacked Starks and pulled his shirt off, and Starks started to get the better of Robinson, but Jay White joined the attack. Then White slammed a chair over the back of Starks, and White asked Starks if he really thought he was done with the Bullet Gold Club. The Bullet Club Gold. Is that what they call the Bullet Club Gold? They should call themselves a Bullet Gold Club and have a bunch of strippers in the Gold Club in Atlanta, like because they'll be like 50 years old now. The girls like have them come out there with these guys. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Who should their manager be if you're going to reference the Gold Club?
I don't know. Okay, so let me tell you. So let me tell you something. And I got an idea for Jack Perry. Jack Perry should turn heel. Okay.
Why?
Because. But remember how we spoke when a guy you just have zero personality as a babyface, and sometimes you just like if you turn heel sometimes it just it opens a door and you unleash some personality. We saw it happen with Dominic. Dominic was doing kind of the babyface scripted promos. He felt very uncomfortable doing, and now he's a heel, and he's very comfortable.
It happened all the way back with Rocky Maivia.
Right.
You know?
So you don't have to even go that. You don't even have to go that far. Ronda Rousey.
Right. So I mean, and bro, Jack Perry's in that spot right now. He is boring television when they do these, and they're trying to get him over and give him personality, but it's showing that he, like, every time they do this, it shows he has no personality. Okay, so did he a sit-down promo with him. He spoke about his history in Las Vegas, going back to when he and his friends.
He showed a little bit of personality in one promo or two against Christian Cage. Remember?
Right. When he cussed, like he said some cuss words, and that was So then
he showed emotion. And he showed emotion. He wasn't one-dimensional as always, but you got to bring it every time.
Yeah, because it's supposed to have been his lifelong dream. He went to all the matches with his dad and Callie and all that, but he doesn't act like this is something that he's always wanted to do.
Tarzan is like an untamed half man, half animal character that lives in the jungle. Jack Perry is like a kid that like sits in the back of the class and doesn't really want to get bothered and doesn't really want to be outspoken or anything. I don't know, but he said when he drives home, he will do it as the AEW World Champion. This is, I don't know. He'd give him a manager and turn him heel and then see what happens. And maybe you can unleash your personality. He's very boring.
Put him with Christian. Team them up because you know what? You're right. He's been a babyface the whole time. Maybe it is time
Jack Perry. So Dax and Cash come out, and Wheeler credited Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal with outsmarting them at every turn. And Wheeler said he's also been lucky and added that their luck will run out of Double or Nothing. Harwood said Jarrett attached his name to the greatest tag team in the world in an attempt to stay relevant. Said he couldn't blame him. He'd probably do the same thing, but there was no way the head of the tag team division would be a couple of rejects from TNA. He suggested that Derek called the Queen of the Mountain to check on his job security, and Harwood said he wasn't talking about Karen Jarrett. He was talking about Dixie Carter. So then this is weird. Mark Briscoe made his entrance with a mic in his hand while the broadcast team know that he would be the special referee for the tag team match, and Wheeler told Briscoe not to let Jarrett and Lethal make him look stupid. He said they went to war with Mark 3 times and now would go to war for him. Mark asked Hardwood what was up with the pile driver he gave him last week, and Hardwood said he didn't mean to. He's blindsided and told Mark to shake his hand like a man. Then Briscoe slapped Hardwood across the face instead. Then Wheeler held back Hardwood, and then Mark left the ring. Then Jarrett, Lethal, and Karen and Sanjay and Saddam Singh came out, and Mark pushed Karen out of the way, shoved Dutt, and slapped Jeff. Then Lethal tried to hug Mark, who stopped him and said he doesn't care about any of the other clowns. And Mark said Lethal is his boy. Then Mark grabbed Lethal by the head and told him that he's getting tired of the. What did you think of this?
Well, it just seems that all of this is setting up. When's AEW tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
They're setting up to see if Mark Briscoe will go for the babyface team or the heel team. That seems to be it. Now, the only other thing, the FTR promo, it didn't seem like they put a lot of thought into it because it wasn't that good. But what's weird is that, they come back. They had the championships again, right, Joe? They were wearing belts, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So they had the belts. Yeah. They were in the ring. They had the belts on their shoulders. Yeah. And then they were like, we're here, to get legacy or whatever it was, and we want the best. Whatever. Why are they putting him with like a makeshift team like Lethal and Jarrett? Why aren't they putting him with like established teams over the belts? That's the only thing I would throw in there. But I know the matches will be good. I know that.
So there's a House of Black match. For some reason, the wrestling. This is a go-home show, and this is like no angle, no nothing. This is just a match on the show for some reason. Like there's not. I don't know.
Like how they put on the screen like there's like 5 or 6 rules, and you're supposed to remember them.
Right. And then but they light it cool. Like the lighting's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So what do you think of you've? How long has AR Fox been wrestling, Joe?
Long time.
How long? Did you find out exactly how long he's been wrestling?
Yep.
Okay, because this might be the worst thing I've seen a professional wrestler do on television in the history of professional wrestling. Okay?
He's 35 years old, DI. He's been wrestling for 16 years, and he was Mr. Hughes.
Okay, when he was trained by Mr. Hughes did not teach him how to do this. Joe, pull the clip
It says
up.
he also underwent further training in WWE's developmental FCW back in the day too. So,
well, where's he? But he's been working on indies the whole time now. Since, right?
CZW.
Play this clip, Joe. Conan, you explain to me
the biggest place he went was Lucha Underground, probably.
All right. Well, he should never be on TV again. Well, watch what he's doing here, Konnan. This takes the thigh slap to the next level of absurdity, but this is like the phoniest, worst thing I've seen a professional wrestler do in a wrestling match ever. And this is horrible. All right, go ahead and play it.
Fox, the pump kick. Yeah, that pump kick's not going to work. Well, maybe two of them might. Fox.
All right, stop it. Konnan, what do you think about that?
I kind of want to.
He's not thigh slapping.
That's brutal.
He's literally
He's clapping his hands.
to make the smacks out instead of smacking.
That's brutal. That's not the worst I've ever seen, but that's brutal.
I mean, over top of his head like that, he could at least hit his chest or something. I don't know. I've never seen that before.
It's a bro. You can't.
How about not hitting anything? How about just kicking the out of the guy? The guy selling it.
Right.
Back in our day, that's what we did.
Yeah,
you just sold it.
Like the Scott Hall punches, he always did you didn't know, like you couldn't tell he was doing it.
But not always, though. Sometimes
he just did it every now and then.
The Rock did it like that.
Yeah, if the guy was going to take a bump, he would like smack his thigh.
The last one. You know? The last big one. He'd hit you, and then the last one clap.
Right.
Yeah, but this clapping thing with the kick that's atrocious. So of course they should have what they should have done when this kid was doing that. Brody King should have no-sold him and just squashed him and pinned him. That's I don't know. But that was of course they go over 5 minutes. Yeah, but that's AR Fox. If they put him back on TV and he does that again, somebody should be fired because that's bro. You got to respect that. That's not like a lot of these guys. They've lost the respect for the work. You're not supposed to. I mean, the fans know it's a work, but you're not supposed to show everybody it's a work openly.
Right.
Like
that,
I
was watching a match. I was watching a match in WWE and Raw, and I forgot who it was. I want to say Sami Zayn, and something had happened to him in the match. And you know how the referee goes down and goes, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
Bro, he covered his mouth with his arm to tell him yes.
Right. Yeah. You're just hiding. You hide the stuff.
Right.
You don't want the fans to see. These people don't mind if the fans see this stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, so next is the Blackpool Combat Club. We're doing a promo, and Bryan Danielson spoke about their mission being to win the Ring of Honor tag team titles in the main event and to end the Elite on Sunday. Bro, there's no way the top guys on one show should be even considering trying to win the Ring of Honor titles. You should be trying to win the AEW titles. I don't. They're trying to make that brand seem more than it is, but But John Moxley spoke about how they would stand tall on Sunday and people see the differences between professionals and amateurs. This is what? Let me explain something here. So MJF comes out for a promo, okay? Dude, this is the first time I found myself fast forwarding through an MJF promo. It's getting very repetitive.
Yeah, I felt that way.
Did you feel the same way too?
Yes. Yeah.
Bro, like saying,
and he's still like
they're just constantly giving him in-ring promos, and he's constantly doing the cheap heat and saying the same. It's just very, it's like there's nothing really new. This is like this angle's been going on forever. Like how many times these guys had in-rings with each other?
Yeah, the last 4 shows at least, right? Maybe more, 5, 6.
So Darby comes out and he gets in the ring, and Alan said he's lost a lot of his life but never lost his mind. I know exactly who I am and where I'm going. Alan recalled graduating high school and listening to people who told him to play the game. And Alan said he listened and led him to cleaning toilets. Alan said he moved to Atlanta and lived in his car and said he felt he needed to do so until he made it as a professional wrestler. And Alan said no other company would let him skateboard with Tony Hawk, jump over his house in a car, or climb Mount Everest. Alan said he wants to be the face of AEW and has to win the AEW World Championship. And Alan said he's taking MJF's championship and said he might even do it with the headlock takeover. Then MJF kicked him in the Then Sammy ran out, and MJF exited the ring. Then Jack Perry comes out, and he walked onto the stage. And MJF tried to hit him with the title belt, but Perry ducked it, knocked him down to the ramp, and picked up the title belt and looked at it. Then looked to the ring and looked down at MJF. Do you got any comment on that? Let me read Powell's papers.
Here's the problem.
Let me read Powell because he might have the same. He may have the same.
Go ahead.
Things. A fairly forgettable go-home segment. MJF's promo was fine. There's just nothing he can say that would convince the masses he won't retain the championship, regardless of what the actual creative plan is. He tried by making it seem like Tony Khan is trying to stack the deck against him, but it just wasn't convincing. Allen strikes me as the wrestler the fans see as the biggest threat of the 3 challengers, so it's odd to see him take a low blow rather than get the momentum spot. Perhaps there's more to come. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I just thought that, MJF, of course, was the best of the 4 on the mic, but, it had become repetitive. But I did like the line when he said, I feel like I want Jungle Jack Perry to be thrown into an echo chamber so he can listen to himself speak and bore himself to death. I thought that was funny. Here's the problem, bro. Since we said from the beginning, they tried to get cute, have a gauntlet style thing, and then the winner would meet MJF, remember, at the beginning? And they came back to where they began, and two people have lost a lot of credibility. Sammy Guevara, how did you go from kissing and hugging and exchanging gifts and saying, yeah, I'll take this money, to all of a sudden, oh, I'm not going to take a dive? And poor Jack Perry, he got destroyed by Roosh, and I would have rehabilitated Jack Perry by having Rush backstage cut a promo and saying,
saying
what
how
I
tough he
did.
was?
Yeah, not saying how tough he was. He beat the fuck out of him. He's saying what I did to that little kid.
Yeah,
no heart, no. And so, okay, let me finish. So basically, he's just saying, hey, see this Jay Bro, what I did to him, I'll do that to anybody in the dressing room. This guy comes out of nowhere, just spears him through a glass, through a door or something, and just starts being him, picks up a stick. Somebody comes, he hits him with a stick. You think I'm something, give him some fire after what they did to him. That's just me.
They did a video package of Wardlow and Christian set this up, the ladder match and whatever. Then Ty and Valkyrie against Lady Frost. This was terrible. They missed some spots.
Let me just say one. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Go ahead. No, I would just say something to Joe. Joe, if Roosh would have come out and say, hey, this guy had a lot of heart, or how would that make Roosh look like?
Oh no, I thought you were saying to try to rehabilitate Jungle Boy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the way to rehabilitate him. Having a heel who just squashed you, so you have a lot of heart.
Within 1 week of the pay-per-view, it's like, what are you going to do to rehabilitate?
The reason I thought of it is because they used to do that all the time. Like the Horsemen would beat.
Yeah, no, we've seen it, and I understand. But this wasn't the place for it.
Not the place. Got it.
He has to get his comeuppance somehow, and he hasn't.
And I doubt that they'll ever go back to it.
Maybe they may. Who knows? They may say, oh.
They might want us to forget that happens.
You're going to have another match with Roosh, and guess what, Roosh? You're going to sell for him this time.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. This is what they should have done. They're doing the backstage, the sit down with Jungle Boy.
Right.
Roosh busts the sit down with Jungle Boy. It's like, why is this guy the thing? Everybody saw it last week. I beat the piss. This guy got lucky. I smoke. He's talking a bunch of. Jungle Boy stands up and smacks him right in the face. They had to pull apart. Whenever they have people come to separate, go, hey, let's fight. They let's go fight. But then they go like an impromptu street fight, and let Jungle Boy get his back on him. Like tough. Like look like he got the guy back for punking him. That would have been.
But you can't unsee what happened last week. You had to at least address it, and they didn't.
Right.
Oh, so we'll hope everybody forgets.
Yeah.
Ty against Lady Frost. I don't know who Lady Frost is, but she's way too green to be on this show.
Well,
I don't know whose fault these were, but they were missing spots. They weren't on the same page. One was trying to shoot the girl into the thing, but the other girl reversed it, and they stood there and looked at each other like, "Why did you reverse it?" Just check.
Ty has had kind of a rough beginning. One of them got the opponents or what, but yeah,
one of them got lost. I would suggest it's probably the greener of the two, with Lady Frost. I don't know who this chick is, but Ty beat her. But this is nothing for anybody. Jade Cargill was on the ramp, and they had an exchange. They're wrestling again.
Yeah, on tomorrow.
Yeah, this has been a very weird build-up for the match. Taya should beat her.
That would be.
If Taya loses again,
that would be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Let's freshen it up a little bit.
Again, what I've said every show. Jade Cargill came out. I don't know why Layla Gray or Lila, whatever, and Smart Mark Sterling are with her because she did not need a posse. This was very rough. Lady Frost. I did a seminar once and she was there. And she's wrestling right now for CMLL off and on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was a rough match.
Oh, maybe it was two girls that are used to wrestling lucha. Then they had to wrestle American style matches.
No, but they know how to wrestle American style.
Yeah, Lady Frost. I think she's been NWA, maybe GCW.
She was in Impact for a little bit. Yeah,
Impact. Yeah, okay.
Tony Khan made an announcement about Collision. The first show will be on Chicago at the United Center. Let me see. Hangman Page was interviewed by Marvez. He said he's not best friends with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, but he said they were like family. And he said Blackpool Combat Club would pay him blood for the things they've done. Then Tony stood in the ring where a table and two chairs were set up for the contract signings. Shivani introduced Adam Cole, who's with Roderick Strong. Then Chris Jericho was introduced, and he was out there with Menard, Parker, Garcia, and Hager. They were seated opposite the table while Shivani said that everyone agreed to no physicality. Shivani said the contract was a personal one between the two wrestlers, and AEW is not responsible for anything that happened during the match. Why is this a non-sanctioned match? Shouldn't this just be a regular match?
Well, it's like that's like a street fight or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you're having another match on the show that's like a street fight with no rules with the elite and the what you call it, right? I don't know. Cole signed the contract, tossed to Jericho. He wondered for weeks why Jericho handcuffed him to the bottom rope and made him watch while Britt Baker was beaten with a kendo stick. And Cole said maybe it's because Jericho's a scumbag and a disgusting human being. And Cole said the actual reason is that Jericho believes he's invincible and said he would find out how invincible Jericho is when he beats the living hell out of him. Cole said AEW should be happy that the match is unsanctioned because the blood will be on his hands just as he likes it. And Cole said he hopes Jericho knows it took all the power in him to not attack him. Cole said he would find out if Jericho could walk because he would break his legs, and he said he would find out if Jericho could talk because he's going to shatter his jaw. And Cole said he'd find out if Jericho could write because he's going to break his hands. If I were you, I'd hurry up and sign the paper, Cole concluded. That's actually a pretty good line there, that little rant. And Jericho stood up, and then Shivani reminded him they agreed to no physicality, and Jericho said because he's not from Las Vegas. It's a cheap shot. Jericho teased signing and said that Cole's head injury may have affected his memory. He said, what happened to Baker?
No, I think, Disco, I think you should text Jericho and have him apologize for that.
What should happen?
Text Jericho right now, Joe, and ask him if he'd like to apologize for the slanderous comments he made about people from Las Vegas because Disco is offended. All right. So Jericho said what happened to Baker didn't go down as Cole remembers it. And Jericho said that had the footage air on the big screen and then asked what kind of a man would allow the love of his wife to get the crap kicked out of her just inches away from him. And Cole lunged towards Jericho, was held back by Strong, and Jericho dared Cole to touch him and called him a coward. Jericho said Cole could beat him and he knows it. Jericho signed the contract and said Cole was outsmarted. There's 5 of us and only 2 of you. Cole said Jericho was right, and that's why he made a call to someone who lives in Las Vegas. Cole said it was someone he idolized growing up, and he has one man who was crazier than all 5 of the Jericho crew combined. A lot of people on Twitter thought he was talking about me. Cole said his man is homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, and Sabu made his entrance, and he came out.
Wait for it, yeah.
Taz said he had goosebumps and spoke of Sabu's toughness. Sabu entered the ring and pointed to the sky twice, and Cole tossed Sabu a chair, which Sabu threw at the face of Bernard. The Bears fled the ring. I like Sabu, but I don't know how on earth he fit in this, and this is very bizarre. What do you think?
I just think
I'll tell you exactly.
Let's get a pop. Let's get a pop for something unexpected.
Yeah,
go ahead,
plus we're in Vegas. Sabu's in Vegas. It's easy, but the connection, DI, is that Jericho and Sabu had an infamous match in ECW in 1996. That's literally their connection. So
okay. So what did you think? First, let me ask you. What did you see the segment, Joe? The whole segment?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I liked it, but I've liked this feud. It's been the only thing that's really had my interest for the last, cycle between pay-per-views. So Sabu was a big surprise. Like Disco said at first, I didn't really understand it, where he fit in. But it's you gotta reach a little bit to find that connection. But it's still, for me as a fan, it's just cool to see him. I don't need a huge explanation on what he's doing there, So I'm looking forward to it. Although, like I said yesterday, seeing him probably try to do a moonsault or something through a table or a leg drop is always cringe-inducing now because he's much older and has had so many injuries. But
what do you think, Disco?
That's all right. I mean, Cole's mic work was decent. I just think it's kind of silly when they do the no physicality, and they tease him. It's like, what would have happened if he would have beat the guy up? Okay, they agreed to no physicality. What if they just beat the guy up anyway? It's like, what were they going to do? Like, cancel the match?
You get a big fine.
I don't know. It's like,
the problem with me is, and I can't put my finger on it, is I just don't feel any real heat.
Right.
I like, where's the heat? It's kind of a little bit disappointing considering who is involved. Yeah.
So then they breaks down. They keep them out there. And Roderick Strong wrestles Danny Garcia and beats him in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Roderick. Whatever. I knew who was going. I fast forwarded through this. They show Willow Nightingale defeating Sasha Banks. Bro, you should have. I listened to Dave and Alvarez talking about the injury and like the match. And like they were talking about like how AEW needs to capitalize on Willow Nightingale because I guess it was she wasn't supposed to win But
they said
Sasha,
that the title was specifically created for Sasha to carry.
So Nightingale went over because Sasha called an audible in the ring, and they were saying that they should capitalize on it. It's like you're not going to capitalize with that. Go Willow Nightingale is not over. It's like just because she won the New Japan title, it's like I don't know.
She's
over
to
that crowd.
Is she?
She's over to that crowd. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's over with that crowd. If you're not there,
Not
there's
everybody.
literally no wrestlers on that show that aren't over somewhat though. They get who gets zero reaction on that show?
I don't know. That's
All you got to do is
Moriarty.
a couple dives and stuff and everything, and they'll pop for you.
No, there's people. There's definitely a drop off in who people cheer for and who they don't.
Well, but the fans give every performer a little bit of respect out there because they don't sit on their hands during. You know what I'm saying? It's like so. So then they go for the main event. I don't know why they were having this match against the Ring of Honor tag title. This. Okay, so this is the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Okay, this angle should have been built up over the course of 2 to 3 weeks with maybe some promos, maybe an instant, But this is a cold match for the Ring of Honor titles with two guys that are in a completely separate angle on pay-per-view this weekend. So it's like I didn't understand the book of this match, other than maybe they just wanted to have a good, quote unquote, good match.
Probably.
But basically,
they wanted the Young Bucks to cost them the match,
right? Right. So the
to
Young
keep
Bucks
their
cost the
going.
match.
But what was weird is we didn't see Kenny Omega, we didn't see Hangman Adam Page. Aren't they supposed to be a part of that clique?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very weird. Go home. I mean, the Bucks came in and super kicked them, and they ran away because Moxley ran down, so they ran into the crowd. It's just that I don't know. It's just very weird. But the way they book this stuff is just very confusing to me. Like it's like the characters are not acting like they should, given the storyline that's presented to them. It's like like there's no way. Like with this angle right now, the Elite should be sticking together all the time because you got this other faction that's jumping people in the back. There's there's 4 of them, and if they see numbers where they got you on everything, so I don't understand why Kenny, Hangman, and the Bucks would not always be together now. It's kind of that's how I would be selling that story. They're all
and
okay,
also
we're all
at
together,
the end, if
you're all together, you're not going to jump us. Let's do it in the ring, So that's the visual I think you should be selling. Go ahead.
And also at the end, so there's going to be blood because Moxley said that it will be the most
violent match in the history of AEW.
Right.
I don't know. Their fans like that, but it's like this kind of I don't know.
Okay, so. Let me ask you a question, Joe. Out of this whole show that we just did right now, this review, what matches or what interests you?
For the I'm looking at it now. For the pay-per-view, probably FTR against Lethal and Jarrett. Wardlow and Christian, I find interesting. I said last week on the review, it's a ladder match. I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good, but it's interesting to me to see how they structure it, because I don't think Christian can be taking a bunch of nut ass bumps through the ladder. And will they have Wardlow do that as a big muscular guy who could easily get hurt? I don't know. Cole and Jericho. I guess that's it, really. I mean, the world title match. It's pretty clear to me MJF will win, so that's not that interesting.
Oh, MJF and the 4 Pillars. That's one. Yeah.
Then Cassidy defends his international belt against 20 other guys in the Blackjack Battle Royal. That maybe I'd like to see. They usually have a surprise or two in there. Maybe that's And then Cargo and Taya, I want to see if it's better than the last match. So,
I'm only interested in Cole and Jericho because I think that'll be good, and Taya because that's my girl. But other than that, there's not anything there that's really I have to see. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's actually 5,000 to 1 odds whether or not Disco Inferno's in this Blackjack Battle Royal is a surprise.
Where did you see that?
It's Wrestling Junkie has the odds up. So
interesting.
What are you interested in seeing, Disco? Anything?
I'm not going to watch this show. Right. I'm not honestly. I'm really not interested in seeing anything. I could go back and probably watch me. If I'd like to hear if something happens or something was really good, then I'll go back and watch it. But I'm definitely not interested in seeing anything of this live.
Before Shane Helms surprisingly appeared in the Royal Rumble, he claimed he wasn't watching the show. So I think Disco is going to be in this Battle Royal. That's my prediction, prognostication.
Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
AEW? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so that's been our. Oh, what was the numbers, Joe?
I thought we said I thought we said it yesterday, but I guess
Oh, we did this right. No, 870. Yeah, it was like it was up 5% or something like
yes,
that, right?
4%. Yeah,
4%. All right, cool. All right, so that's been our
All right.
AEW review.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.